How do preferences work when voting in Australian federal elections? Voting with preferences holds a lot of mystery and confusion for many first-time voters, as well as Australians who've been voting for a long time. However, it's extremely important to understand how our democracy works and how to vote, so you can make it work for you without being led astray by self-serving politicians or mainstream media agendas. Now, while you vote for a single local representative for your electorate in the lower house, you also get to vote for the representatives of your whole state in the upper house, also called the Senate. That's the huge white ballot with dozens and dozens of candidates' names on it. Each state has 12 senators and each territory has just 2, and half of the state senators must alternately recontest their position at each election to be elected for a 6-year term starting July 1st. They don't represent a local electorate or even a region. Your whole state or territory is their electorate. To make your Senate ballot a valid vote, you must number at least 6 groups of candidates above the line, or at least 12 individual candidates below the thick black line. If you vote above the line, the candidates in the groups you vote for will get your vote in the order they're already printed on the ballot. If you want to vote for them in a different order of preferences, you'll need to vote for them below the line, in the order you prefer, and completely ignore all boxes above the line. When voting below the line, you have maximum control over your preferences and can vote for anyone in any group in any order, as long as you number at least 12 boxes and don't repeat or skip any numbers. In my opinion, the upper house is where minor parties and independents can be most useful to prevent a bad government from doing too much damage by blocking bad legislation. That's what the Senate is for. While it can be daunting to number every single box below the line, doing so will give you the most control over your vote and the best government possible. If you don't number every box, there's a chance your vote could be exhausted and wasted if all the people you did vote for got excluded before the final round. One way to reduce the risk of not numbering every box is to make sure you vote for at least one major party candidate, as they are the most likely to be in the final round anyway. That way, even if you do give your higher vote preferences in the Senate to minor party candidates, your vote has very little chance of being exhausted, which means running out of candidates you voted for, as long as you eventually voted for one or more major party candidates. Of course, if you number every box below the line and carefully double check to make sure you haven't skipped or repeated any numbers, you can be guaranteed your vote cannot be wasted and that you're not splitting the vote. Remember, if you do make a mistake, you can always get a fresh one from a polling official. Is this video helping you? If so, please share it. Please remember, this explanation only applies to federal elections. The rules for state elections are a little different and vary from state to state. One of the myths thrown around carelessly, especially by major political parties, is the danger of splitting the vote if too many similar candidates run for election. The opposite is in fact true. Because of preferential voting, your vote is never ever wasted if you number every box and everyone's voice is heard when it finally comes down to the 2 most popular candidates. This means you can safely vote for a minor party candidate, confident that if they're excluded before the final 2, your vote will still have full value in helping decide between the final 2. Another myth is that political parties control voter preferences. That simply isn't true. The only person controlling the distribution of preferences is the person marking the secret ballot in the privacy of their voting booth, you. The only choices parties and politicians have is what preference recommendations they will make on their how to vote flyers, which are offered by their volunteers on election day. You don't even have to take these. If you want to be a responsible, patriotic voter who doesn't waste their vote for our future, care enough about your neighbours and nation to decide before election day which candidate represents your values best and in what order you prefer the other candidates to represent your values when important issues come before Parliament. If you don't know how the other candidates represent you, Google them and ask. No one controls your preferences except you. The current Senate voting rules have removed any advantage minor parties previously had, and now tend to favour medium-sized parties when people simply vote above the line. The most control and best result for your vote will be if you number as many boxes as possible below the line. You may not usually be interested in politics, and it might be more complicated than you like, but it is less effort than some important purchases. And getting it wrong can severely affect or tremendously help a lot more people. Let's care about other people enough to put the modest effort required into understanding our democracy and how voting works, and get the best government possible. If you have any questions or would like me to make a video explaining anything else, please leave a comment below. If you like someone else's question or suggestion, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and click the bell to see new videos first. If you think this video could help people you know, please share it on your favourite social media channels and head over to davepellowe.com to subscribe to my newsletter and see recent videos and articles. This video was brought to you by the Pellowe Talk partners, individuals helping educate and empower people to promote just and wise government.